Okay, so quick little introduction to exponents. I actually gave away the answer here, but if you have 2 to the third, the 3 tells you to take the base, which is this number here, and multiply it to itself 3 times. And you can do that with your calculator, right? That makes 8. But your calculator probably also has an exponent function. But that's all an exponent is saying. And so if we're asked to take an expression and simplify it with an exponent, so look, this is x multiplying to itself 4 times, right? So we just say this is x to the fourth. And we can do that even when there's a combination of things. Look, x is multiplying to itself 2 times, so we say that's x to the second. Y is multiplying to itself 3 times, so we'll attach that because they're all multiplying to each other. So we don't want a plus or minus symbol in there. But y is multiplying to itself 3 times, so that's y to the third. Okay, so that's the basics of exponents. It just is it's a way of expressing repeated multiplication. So if we have 3 to the second times 3 to the fourth, you can figure out what 3 to the second is and then multiply 3 to the fourth. Or a quicker way would be to use this fact about exponents. If you get 3 to the second times 3 to the fourth, they both have 3 for a base. So you can just add their powers. That makes 3 to the 6. Okay? And then you can figure that out in your calculator. But you'll get the same answer because they're equal. Okay? So when you're multiplying two things that have the same base, their powers add. So same thing over here. If you have x to the fourth times x to the third, the answer you're going to want to enter is x to the seventh. If you have x to the fifth times x to the negative seventh, look, your answer is going to be x to the negative second, right? Because 5 plus negative 7 makes negative 2. But a better way of writing that, and if you have instructions that say no negative exponents, you've got to write it like this. That's the answer to this one. The reason is because a negative exponent just means it's the reciprocal. Okay, you put it in the denominator. So if you have x to the negative second, you can make it positive by doing 1 over x to the second. Okay, now when you have a power on top of a power, sorry about that line up there. Can I erase that? No, I can't. This is z to the fifth to the second power. When you have a power on top of a power, the two powers multiply. So that's x to the 10th. And over here, you have two different numbers raised to the power of 2. So you would separate them and do 2 squared, and then this is z to the 10th. And then you can simplify that, right? Because 2 squared is to the 4 is 4. Finally, one last one down here. We're multiplying all these things together. So negative 2 times 3 makes negative 6. You can just multiply the plain old numbers first, because the order of multiplication doesn't matter, right? Negative 2 times x times y, and then the result is multiplied times 3. Well, since it's all just multiplication, you can switch up the order and choose what to multiply first. So you want to multiply the plain old numbers together. You want to multiply the x's together. So if there's no number written, that's a 1, right? So x to the first times x to the second, that makes x to the third. And then y to the first times y to the first makes y squared. There's our result. Okay. So like always, I've got a bunch of videos for the specific questions in your homework, but let me know if you need more.